Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I saw this article in Cosmopolitan. I was actually looking for another article but couldn't find it, and I stumbled across this one and I thought it was rather interesting. It's all the way back in 2017, so I know it's a long time ago as it seems like 2017. But nevertheless, I think it is relatively important that we do talk about this particular subject matter because I have spoken about it on several occasions now, and I'm actually totally against it for a number of reasons. And the topic we're talking about is obviously surrogacy. So, this is an article that talks about what it's really like to have a surrogate pregnancy from the perspective of three different women that decided to have one. Now, keep in mind that Cosmopolitan is a left leaning news outlet, so that means they're going to be obviously in favor of surrogacy because they don't really care about the fact that it's human slavery and trafficking and all that other disgusting, horrible thing that comes with it. So, anyway, we're going to be looking at the three women's perspective today and see what they have to say. And not all of it is rosy and what you think that it might be. Okay, so let's dive into this. By the way, Kim Kardashian and Kanye West had a surrogate. Didn't know that. So that's a new piece of information for me. Um, so the first lady we're going to be looking at is Lauren, 26 years old. She, at the time, that is, she gave birth to her first surrogate baby for a same attracted, you know what, couple in December 2014, a gay couple, when she was just 24. Lauren has no children of her own. Now, to me, it's rather interesting, right? Like you are choosing to have a baby for somebody else, but you won't choose to have a baby for yourself. Why is that? Maybe selfish reasons, who knows? But let's look at this, shall we? I work as a night nanny and maternity nurse, so I have come into contact with a lot of families who struggle to become parents. It just became very apparent to me that for some people, it wasn't straightforward. Well, if you're gay, it's definitely not straightforward at all, mate. So I thought if I could help, I would. Just because you can help and you have the ability to give someone the option of having a kid, especially if they're gay people, doesn't mean you should, right? Not everyone, I think, deserves to be parents. That may seem like a controversial statement to make, but some people just don't. Like, that's the honest truth. I didn't even know if surrogacy was legal in this country and how it works. So I decided to Google it, which was where I found about Surrogacy UK. I knew I wanted to be a surrogate for a gay couple because back then, although I don't think it's so much the case now, they didn't seem to get picked as often. Wonder why that is. I wanted to help prove that they can make fantastic parents too. So you're doing this for, like, I want to prove that gay people can be great parents as well. Poor kid. With the couple that I ended up choosing, I looked at their profile and thought they sounded like nice people. So we spent 3 months getting to know each other and ended up getting on really well. This getting to know period is key for Surrogacy UK, who believe friendship between a surrogate and the intended parents is the best basis for a surrogate baby to be born. I did what's called a host surrogacy, which means I had IVF to implant an embryo created from a donor egg and one father's sperm. And so the baby wasn't biologically mine. But I would definitely consider doing a straight surrogacy for the couple I'm currently getting to know, which would involve using my own egg. So implantation obviously wasn't her own kid. So she was renting out her womb to other people, which to me, I've never gone through a pregnancy before and was only 24 at the time, but I wasn't really worried. I just thought people do it every day, so it can't be that hard. I did get awful morning sickness, but that soon passed, and we were lucky to experience a normal, healthy pregnancy. I only started to feel like I wanted it to be over towards the end, but as soon as the baby was born and I saw them together as a family for the first time, I knew it had been worth it. Oh boy, oh boy. Everything felt worth it. All the money they'd put into it, although it costs the prospective parents, right, around £10,000 or £15,000. The surrogate cannot make any profit from the experience and must document all costs with receipts. The medication, the sickness, the midwife appointments, the ups and downs, and obviously baby Sophie at the end of it all. So she walked away with nothing, apparently. So she just did this because she wanted to prove a point. And she thought that her point was proved by seeing the so-called happy family at the end. Like, that doesn't seem like it's a great reason to put your body through literal hell for a while. That's wrong, in my opinion. I wasn't really worried about my body changing because I'm naturally slim anyway. I've always been to the gym and carried on going to the gym until I was 35 weeks pregnant. I got back to the gym 6 weeks after giving birth and my body has changed, but I'm not unhappy with it. Sophie is now almost 3 years old, and in the first year, we probably saw each other once a month, along with having regular updates and photos. Now we see each other less every few months, but we message and I see pictures all the time. Sophie is more than aware of who I am, and she always will be. I'm her tummy mummy. I'm not your real mum. I'm just your tummy mummy. And I know that there are some women out there that do it for like they've got no option, or they see like they've got no option. And there's other women like this that do it because they think they're going to make a huge difference in the world and just be completely separate from that child's life, but they've actually born that child. It's like you're renting and then you're giving that child up. It's like you're paying for a baby and then giving that baby over, which is human. Anna is a 35-year-old mum of three girls who gave birth to her first surrogate baby in 2015. Around 10 years ago, I watched a couple of documentaries on TV about surrogacy. The idea stuck with me, and I remember thinking, what a wonderful thing it could be to do. Years later, after having two children, I did some research and thought carefully about becoming a surrogate. But I decided I wanted a third child of my own, and the advice was to finish your own family before you become a surrogate. That's mainly because there's a certain logic to being a surrogate when you no longer have the instinct to nurture a newborn. I no longer had the desire for more children of my own, which made it the right time for me, as well as that any woman needs to consider what would happen if her own fertility was affected and she hadn't had a family of her own yet, which is another complication in the matter. Things can go relatively wrong during the gestation period, during the actual length of the pregnancy. Anything can go wrong. And by the way, the mother, the rightful mother, has no say. So if she wants to keep or save the baby, it would be up to the IPs, the prospective parents, to decide what they want to do. And usually they decide to end. 5 years later, when my youngest daughter had started school, my family and work life settled, and I decided this was the right time to do something that meant so much to me. Once I was screened and accepted as a surrogate, I scoured a list of couple profiles. As the current law stands, single people cannot use a surrogate to become a parent. However, they can adopt. Gee, I wonder why that is. Maybe they I don't know the entire reasoning around that, but there must be a good reason. Look into that more. Think about that for a little bit more. Provided by Surrogacy UK, legally, surrogates are not allowed to advertise, hence the importance of not-for-profit organisations like Surrogacy UK. And within days, I started talking to a couple in Manchester. Chatting to prospective parents felt almost like online dating. It's like you're shopping. I had a strong idea of what I wanted from my IPs. I wanted to help a couple who didn't live too far away from me, had no children, and who felt like normal, down-to-earth people in stable jobs with a good relationship. Chatting to respective IPs felt almost like online dating. It's about chemistry. And was my couple's sense of humor made me feel like they were just right. The first time we met up was in a pub. Great place to meet up. And it felt like so much like a blind date. And we got to know each other over the next few months. And once we'd agreed on all the circumstances, how frequent my contact would be with the baby, etc., etc., we went ahead. I was a host surrogate, opting not to use my own egg because I just couldn't imagine having a child out there who was biologically mine, but wasn't calling me mummy. I gave birth to a little boy on Christmas Eve 2015, and physically it felt very similar to giving birth to my own. You've had 3 kids of your own. Now you're doing a surrogacy. You say that it felt like yours. It actually is. May not be biologically yours, but you still carried the child for however many months. That child has an interaction with your womb, with you as a person, with you as the mum. So obviously it's going to want you. It's not going to want, I'm going to go to the person that I think is biologically mine, because that baby does not, no idea. It's going to go to you. Although I'm good at controlling my attachments, the emotion filled the room and everyone was in tears, including the staff. I remember watching as this new mother got first skin-to-skin contact with a baby. I watched her melt and sob over her lovely little boy we had tried so hard to create, a feeling she thought she'd never experience, and I've never felt love like it. I never felt like I was giving a baby away. I never lost anything. I felt very honored that they chose me to carry their baby and trusted me with such a responsibility. When I saw them hold each other as a family, that moment made it all worth it. It was beautiful. So that's that one. Here's the last one. Ali, 33 years old, has no children of her own. And we spoke to her in April 2016 when she was pregnant with twins for a gay couple. It wasn't like I had an enlightening dream about surrogacy or anything. It was more through watching a friend experiencing it that I decided, along with my husband, to go for it. Now, any man that agrees to his woman being a surrogate, renting out her womb for 2 gay men, that's a problem to me. I've got no children of my own, although I do have stepchildren. Well, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. He's like, I've already got my own kids, so you do whatever you want with your own womb. As the time hasn't felt right yet, but I still wanted to experience pregnancy if it meant I could help somebody. I have no material instincts in me yet and almost felt like it could be a test run. My husband has always been very supportive of the idea. We made decisions together, and I think most other surrogates would say that without the support of their partner, they wouldn't have done it. I'm currently pregnant with 2 twins. We're a gay couple. They're lovely guys, and they're going to be fantastic dads. We've got a really good friendship, and we get along so well that sometimes you forget there's a baby involved, or babies. Being pregnant is actually lovely. I'm halfway through now, but it's nice because I haven't got the worry of late night feeding and nappies and crying facing me. It's a little bit selfish, don't you think? I can go home after giving birth and I can rest. Yeah, just simple. After the however many months you've carried the babies for, give them up. I can go home, rest, done. That's it. Oh boy, oh boy. And the physical changes aren't really an issue for me either. I've always been petite, never been able to carry much weight, but I have noticed changes in my breasts and my stomach, and I'm very tired. But soon I'll be holding and cuddling the twins, and I'll be known as their Auntie Ali. Sure. Not to mention the fact that I actually birthed you both. I'm your auntie. I'll be able to look at them, and it'll be everything worthwhile. We'll make everything worthwhile. We'll be able to watch our friends become a family, and we'll be a real part of their joy. All I want at the end of it all is a photo of both dads carrying the babies, and to think, wow, that's something I've created. Their dads are going to take them home, and they're going to be so loved. Good grief. Oh boy, what a thing to read. Anyway, that being said, I'm still against it all. Just because these 3 women had their experiences, I still don't think the process is right. And I think that adoption is a much better alternative and a much better option in the mix. Even though the child may not be biologically yours, or even if you go through the process of IVF, whatever, I still think your first consideration always should be adoption. Go for that. Go for it. Anyway, my friends, you guys take care. You be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.